it's been a long time coming, man. So a little bit about myself. Oh yeah, first off, in the video, I don't have my shirt off because I don't like to sweat, so. And I don't like to get wet, so that's why you would never see my shirt off. They know that. But for real though, all jokes aside, so as Austin said, my name is Mac Davis, better known as Spoonie. If you're wondering where the name come from, my dad said when I was a child, he used to hold me in his lap and bounce me up and down and call me Spoonie, so that name stuck with me. So I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm 34 years old. I had a pretty good childhood. I was pretty much raised up in the church with my mother and my father and some siblings. Around the age of 9 or 10, they split up, they parted ways, and I was still going to church on a regular basis. And then we ended up moving in a rough neighborhood, my mother, my sisters and I, and she kind of backslid and stopped going to church. And I still kept going with an auntie of mine and my cousin. And so I'm from a Christian background, Christian home. I know who Jesus is. I always knew who he was. So pretty much I say around the age of 14, we moved in a more rougher neighborhood, my mother and my siblings. And I had this void in my life. First off, I wasn't around my father because he was in another state. And I didn't have a person I can actually open up to. I didn't have a man in my life to actually teach me how to be a man at that time. So I created this image in my head of trying to be someone that I wasn't. And so the only thing I knew was the hood, that's why I was brought up in after they split up. And I was around drugs and gang-related fellas and so on and so on. So around high school, around age of, I think, 16, 17, I started smoking marijuana. And I ended up joining the Crips gang, once again trying to be somebody I wasn't, to fit in and feel like I was a part of something. And through that, I ended up making bad choices. At the age of 19, I was introduced into powdered cocaine and ecstasy and other types of drugs. And it just progressed and progressed. And I just kept going in a deeper hole, not knowing it at the time. So around the age of probably 20, 21, I got introduced into heroin. My downfall was in the age of 23 when I got introduced into syringes. I started injecting heroin in my home. And throughout that, it literally totally destroyed my life. I overdosed a couple times. I actually died 2 years ago on Christmas Day. I attempted suicide a couple times. I ended up going to prison. Fast forward always to 2019, I went to rehab. I've been to rehab before, but I never went because I wanted help. I always went for my mother or the girlfriend or whatever. I never went because Mac wanted help. So I didn't know that wasn't going to work at the time. I found out later on in life. So I left rehab with the girl 2 years ago. And my daddy called me on the phone and like, I got a bad feeling. And most they know my dad, he's a pastor. He's a man of God. So when I'm in my addiction, he's the last person I want to talk to because he always trying to talk about the Bible or how I'm living. I should do that. And my head's already clouded, so that's the last thing I want to hear. And throughout my addiction, God was calling my name and calling me back into Christ, and I felt him. And I heard his voice, and I always made that excuse, well, I don't want to go through withdrawals. I don't want to do this and that to get back to where I need to be. God had a call in my life when I was like 18, 19 years old. I knew it, but I kept running and running and running. So I ended up relapsing after I got mad at my father, and I think I hung up in his face that day because he said something about it.